The NOVIPRO IT Break, 15 entertaining minutes with our experts on hot topics. They're designed to help you keep up to date on the latest IT trends. Welcome to this IT Break, episode 32. My name is Pierre Tocci. I'm a senior consultant IT transformation at NOVIPRO. And today my guest is Yves Paquette, co-founder and president of NOVIPRO. Good morning, Yves.
Good morning, Pierre.
This morning's topic is all about IT trends. Yves will explain to us the survey that we've done nationally with Léger, with enterprises, medium and large enterprises throughout Canada. Yves, can you describe what the survey is all about?
Well, the beauty of that survey is that this is our fifth year. So it means that we have now fifth year of trends of statistics that we receive from medium and large company throughout Canada and from different type of industry. So it's really a reference now in the industry. So everybody was expecting or willing to share the information with us, and now we are ready to share the results with everyone. So I'm really happy by the results.
Being this fifth year, obviously you've seen trends, but the trends that would be interesting is that do you have the same attention to the survey from companies? Is the attendance growing, number of participants and so on?
Well, the number of participants is always around the same, which is about 500 companies from a different size of companies. But what we see is an increase of a number of people who are downloading, for example, the survey, who are expecting or asking us to get a preview of their first results, simply because now it's a reference. They like to see results, like to compare themselves to those information we're getting out of that study. So this is a very important study that we launch every year now.
Well, congratulations. People are still attentive to the, I will call it a program because it is a program. So it's year over year. That's good. They understand the message. Good job.
Yeah, and not only that, it's the fact that every year we're also asking every company, customer that we have, or even the people who did participate to that IT trend, to give us some new question they would like to see inside the survey. So this way, it's not only us who prepare those questions, it's also everybody who participate to the surveys who are asking us to add more information because that we see that this is important for them.
So my first question to you, Yves, this morning is that obviously we've lived through something that was radically different. How has COVID changed the results of the survey, or has it?
Yeah, well, the result is also very different. We saw a major trend where the IT was taking more strategic roles inside every company. And now we see that with the pandemic, every owner and every director of company play their father's role, which is first protect their asset, protect their jobs, and make sure that they can survive. So we saw a lot of shipment in budget, for example, from future projects, simply focusing on making sure that the company can be 100% operational and continue to serve their customers. So we see a drastic change in a lot of stats coming out from that IT trends.
So amongst the findings, you just mentioned one surprise, any other surprises that you did not expect in the findings?
Well, first, it was difficult to predict anything because, in fact, I remember when we been asked to leave our building, our main office in Montreal, it was for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It's been a year now. Yeah. The beauty of that survey is that we conducted that survey in the month of September and October, which is almost 6 months after the pandemic. So we know that the result we're getting, it's not like a projection of what we feel how we're going to manage that pandemic. It's right after 6 months. So we know if you have to do any transformation or any impact on your business, it did occur before we did the survey. And so the surprise is that people were very transparent,
Hmm.
very the result reflects exactly what we see in most of companies. And but at the same time, we saw that every company had the same objective. First, making sure that they can be 100% operational, then making sure that they have all the infrastructure so people can work from home. And at the speed they were able to transform, it's amazing, surprising. But at the same time, it shows that all the future project had to be put on hold simply because we need to survive. So, but the other surprise that we can see as part of the survey is that it seems like working from home is not just something related to the pandemic. It's not. It's a new way to work now, and it seems like every company is already in a position to
Hmm.
use this as a permanent way of working inside the business.
What you're saying, Yves, is very interesting because it tells me that it's. I won't say that in any survey there's always wishful thinking. There is a little bit of wishful thinking, but since this was undergone from September to December, it did show reality. So the numbers have to be trusted in any fashion that they're presented because it does show the impact. Tell me,
Absolutely. And so a good
go ahead.
example is that part of the survey is that we see that it's more than 81% of company being impacted by the pandemic. So it's a major impact for everybody. But seeing that now that even after almost a year now in the pandemic, what 6 months after the pandemic, we did the survey, and part of the survey we see that it's close to 80% of company now feels that working from home that's going to be a permanent way of
Hmm.
working. So they will offer this to all their employees, not only for a day or two, but I would say for 4 to 5 days a week it's 25% of company, and 3 to 4 days it's also 25% of the company. So that's a major shift. So it's there to stay definitely.
Of course. Well, there have been good habits that came out of the pandemic, bad habits that came out of the pandemic. So let's hope that the good habits will continue moving forward. Um, Give me some highlights in the numbers that you found in this year's results.
I would say one of the major highlights is the fact that due to the fact that people had to shift their budget to really make sure that they are 100% operational, we see, or part of the stat is like a company intend to reduce their investment in AI and cybersecurity. Good example, the one question asking how many companies will invest in the next 2 years in cybersecurity on AI, and we see the trend changing very drastically. For example, in cybersecurity, it was 40% of companies who are willing to do major investment in cybersecurity in the next 2 years. Now it's down to 25%. In AI, it's 36% down to 29%. So it's a major shift.
That is really surprising. Company investing less in cybersecurity. That really surprises me. With
Uh,
all the stuff we hear around us, we all know a
well,
company that's been hacked. We everybody knows one.
yeah, yeah, I know that on my case, being an owner of a company and a manager of a company doesn't surprise me because the first reaction you need to protect your asset, protect your jobs.
Yeah.
So you're not talking about future anymore. Just react to making sure you can be 100% operational. After that, I'll be really surprised next year that that trend should go back to the normal trend, which is every company will have to reinvest. Because what happened is that the fact that everybody is working from home, there's a new ways to protect data that needs to be put, and we need to put that in place. Good example, you can download, you can work with through a VPN to work on a specific document. But if, for example, your bandwidth is very poor, what you're going to do, your first reflex is you're going to use the VPN to
Sure.
download the document, work locally. But when you work locally, even if after you finish your job, you together send back that document using the VPN, which is a particular way to do it. The reality is when you work locally, the company cannot protect you because we don't have access to your protection of your Wi-Fi, your router, or stuff like that. So we need to reinvent the way we're going to protect data working from home, and that's a new challenge for every IT department.
What I
So this is
find,
one of the major findings.
yeah, what I also find unfortunate, since we had a good thing going with AI and analytics, is that the numbers tell us that people are investing less in the future, should I say, of AI.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, Before we move forward with this, I would mention another major findings as part of the result this year.
Mm-hmm.
We see that most of IT department now, who in the past were they call it at the edge, leading edge, we feel now that it's more traditional. Reason for that is simple: is that because the IT department, instead of working of improving and keep the leading edge, now they've been asked to be more operational. So making sure that everybody can work from home and making sure that we can still protect a bit the information, but make sure that everybody have access to the information. So,
Yeah.
so the survey tells that uh, people or company, they were feeling that their IT was more on the leading edge. It's down from 41% to 29%, I think.
Yeah.
And also the fact that the department was more playing a role of a strategic role inside the company for the future of the company is down now from I think it's 41% to down to 24%. So, but we feel that this is probably just related to the pandemic, and hopefully next year we'll see that trend moving in the right direction. And I would say probably the third findings, major findings we found in as part of the IT trend, is that people are accelerating their moving to the cloud.
That's
It's
good.
again,
Yeah.
especially for the mid market. I mean,
Yeah.
it's quite an investment to keep their IT staff to the leading edge, making sure that they have all the knowledge on security, AI, operational, admin, stuff like that. So now we see that with what we saw and the importance of be more cyber resilient, it's quite an investment for every, especially on the mid-sized companies. So we're going to see, and we see that as part of the result, that there's more and more company now who are accelerating all the projects for moving their stuff to the cloud.
Yeah. So I guess the numbers demonstrate that even though we had a pandemic, it gave the opportunity to clean up, should I say, to start better.
Oh,
Otherwise, we never have time
absolutely,
to do it. Now we were forced to do it. Clean up to move
absolutely.
forward. Yeah.
The fact that we're used to work in an environment where we control everything because we're working from our office. We know the servers are there. There's a local area network is there that we protect, that we control, and the fact that instantly, I mean, we have to decentralize the way we work, the way we control the information. It's a major shakedown, like a
Yeah.
major earthquake that every IT department feel or suffer. There's some or where the because the pandemic brings a lot of challenges. Sometimes it's positive, sometimes it's negative. Positive,
Yeah.
we saw, for example, major increase in the retail market, for example, of the number of transaction over the web. The way we do our grocery now, most of the time we use the web and deliver the grocery at home, especially for people on a certain age. And this new trend can become also a new reality. So we need to make sure that we're going to restart some project to reinvest in this area.
I'll challenge you to something, Yves. I never do this.
Okay.
Next year, the survey will come out for the sixth consecutive year.
Yeah.
Can you, if I were to challenge you for your response for the findings of next year, what do you see coming out next year positive?
Positive is the fact that we know that the working from home now it's going to stay permanent.
Yeah.
So that's going to offer more flexibility to people. So again, that may also give the chance to every company to be more productive, simply because there's less traveling, and the fact that we there's a better balance between the working, taking care of your family, your job, and your personal health, and that'll help a lot of companies to be more productive in this way. What we're probably going to see is that, and hopefully, um, we see that there's more importance attached to be cyber resilience.
Yeah.
So the fact we suffer a major pandemic like this that forced us to reinvent the way we work, the way we protect information, proved to me that people are agile now, and they know that they need to stay agile because we never know what's going to happen. It's not. It's like in cybersecurity. Okay, you know that you're going to be attacked one day. Simply, you don't know when. It's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Pandemic. We know that this is happening now. It can happen again. So we need to be cyber resilient. And hopefully, we're going to see that those trends that were so positive for the past 4 years, where IT was playing a so much important role inside every company, I think this will come back.
Well, hopefully. I think we've learned from our lessons. We were forced to learn from lessons. We were forced to be more agile as an IT provider. So there's no reason why the good habits won't stay. It will be the
I
new
would
the new
say,
model.
yeah, one thing that maybe we can predict also is that company will start to reinvest, because part of the survey of this year, we saw a reduction, major reduction in the training, security training given to employees, to the
Hmm.
employee. And I can definitely predict that people or companies will start to reinvest in the training, cybersecurity training to all their employees, especially the fact that now we knew that all these cyber attack are or they are targeting, in fact, employees, because it's a lot easier to um, find a breach in your personal router or Wi-Fi compared to the company one. So this is something very important for everyone now.
Well, Yves, thank you very much. That was an excellent overview of the findings of this year's survey. Thank you again, Yves, for your time this morning. Uh, as a closure, I invite you to visit our hub of content at hub.novipro.com. You will find all the previous webinars and IT breaks, as well as we're launching our IT 2021 IT Trends Survey. We'll be presenting this. And again, we invite you to this event. My name is Pierre, and on behalf of Yves and NOVIPRO, thank you very much again for attending this IT break today.
Thank you.
You want access to a range of cutting edge information? Go to our online content area at hub.novipro.com.